Now, Erwin, you have talked about the fact that in our culture that you see 5 cultural trends that you're saying that are irreversible unless God steps in. Give us a summary of where we are at, and then quickly we want to get to the good news of what God promises us in the midst of this turmoil.
You're absolutely right, John. We should always keep in mind that Jesus knows exactly where we are at. And after we take a good look at some of the trends that you talked about, we'll quickly summarize those. We will get to those unshakable pillars. Number 1 is economic decline. I don't have to say anything about that. Everybody knows that we're borrowing our way into oblivion. Number 2 is moral decline. You see this everywhere. You know, last time we talked about same-sex marriage, but let me say also that the impurity of television and the internet, I could say so much about that. People need to understand that their hearts are being lured away into sin. This is huge. And then, of course, educational breakdown. You know, here in the United States, our schools are really indoctrination centers, and even in our universities, students sometimes say that they don't have the opportunity to reveal the fact that they are a Christian without being penalized in some way. Imagine that in America. Prejudicial rulings. By that I mean we can't expect the courts to defend us anymore. The line between the separation of church and state that was supposed to protect us is now being turned on its head and interpreted differently, and you find that freedom of religion is being marginalized and it is being legalized. That is to say, there are legal rulings that go against us. And then the privileged position of Islam. What I mean by that is that in America you can criticize any group, but actually the Muslims, if I might say this, Islam, is in a privileged position. And once again, I want to say for the many of you who are watching, who are Muslims, we're so glad that you're watching this show, and we hope that you continue to. We're not talking about all Muslims, but there is a great trend here in America to submit to Islam. And we have what I call self-censorship. In other words, legally, we can still be critical of Islam when it deserves being critical about, but the problem is nobody wants to go there. The long-term implications of this are huge.